The Ramadan story coming for you, courtesy Muhammad Muzamil YouTube channel, and it's titled Anas ibn Malik and the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's Iftar. Anas ibn Malik was one of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's companions, and he will watch him closely enough to know all his habits, among which was the habit of breaking. Anas bin Malik knew, he watched the Prophet Muhammad, he watched and knew all his habits. And among them was the habit of breaking his fast with some dates and a sip of milk. One day, the Prophet Muhammad was fasting, and Anas knew that. So Anas had prepared the Prophet date and milk, because he already knew that's what it would take used to break his fast, and waited for him to show up at sunset and break his fast. Yet the Prophet Muhammad didn't show up. What happened? Anas wondered. Anas grew concerned and anxious, but comforted himself by thinking that the Prophet must have been offered an iftar elsewhere. You know, he was loved and popular, loved by everybody. Everybody would love to share iftar with the Prophet, would offer him. And if we were alive today, you will offer him, and I would offer him too. Later that day, when the Prophet showed up with another of their companions, he returned with one of the other companions. Anas ibn Malik asked their friend whether or not the Prophet had broken his fast. And the answer was no. He was busy. The companion replied to Anas was that the Prophet was busy with many tasks, as we all know he would have, and didn't have anything to eat or drink. That is the Prophet for you. He loved people, and he devoted his entire time in the service of Allah, Islam, and people, care for people. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Ibn Malik grew restless, now worried, for he had no food in the house to offer the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and didn't know what to do. He was perplexed. The Prophet Sallallahu noticed his anxiety and thought that Anas is a generous person. Rasulullah Sallallahu he thought good of everybody, never ill of anyone. He was kind-hearted. So he must have been anxious because he had nothing to offer the Prophet ﷺ. See what the Prophet did there. He gave Anas ibn Malik the benefit of doubt. How many of us do this? We have to learn this. Give our friends, our family, those who were not sure, always give a benefit. Give a benefit of that. Always give excuses for them. Don't think otherwise. The Prophet ﷺ told them that he didn't feel any thirst or hunger at all. Imagine. That's the kindness of the Prophet, an understanding heart, covering up for Anas. He didn't want him to feel bad, and eased up the mood of the house, because everyone was worried at it. What will he give the Prophet? What will he offer him? He quickly, just nicely, like the good Prophet, Rasulullah that he was, okay, with a good message, brought to deliver a message of kindness, understanding, love, tolerance. The Prophet told them he didn't feel any thirst or hunger, to make everybody feel happy and relieved. He was trying to live the spirit. This is because he was trying to live the spirit of his dear friend Anas. He was trying to live the spirit of his dear friend Anas. Allahu Akbar, Tabarakallah. Wow, what can I say? What can I say about the understanding, generosity, kindness, tolerance of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? May Allah help us to imbibe his ways, the ways of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Atimun Nabiyu, Rasulullah Nabiyullah Muhammad Muzammil Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And may Allah bless his household and all his companions. Inshallah. Salaam alaikum.